This was about 30 years ago, man.
Yeah.
Talk to him and everything. Talk to him and everything. Talk to him and everything.
He's a great contribution to the culture, man. You know, one thing I like about Bishop, man, he's consistent. You know, he's green and gold to the death of him.
Already,
And he one of them lepers that don't never change his spots. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I fuck with Bishop like that. You know, I mean, you know, them brothers in Chicago taught me a lot. You know, they got me into this Hollywood shit, you know, this TV shit. I wouldn't have never did it had they never brought Pimp Some Hoes down, you know, on the scene. I didn't know what it was like. I didn't believe in none of this public display of emotions and, you know, letting people know your activities. I wasn't into that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
That was a real underground society.
Yeah, well, you know, you got to remember, man, like I said, man, I come from a gangster town.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So running your mouth can get you in trouble.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, and, you know, it was like the least thing you wanted to be back when I was coming up was a snitch or being perceived as telling. So, you know, when Bishop done did Pimp Some Hoes Down and all us was in there and everybody accepted, it was cool. But if I did it by myself, nigga probably been like, man, they can't talking too much, right? So, you know what I'm saying? I thank God for Bishop now, man. Because of them, I'm able to tell my story. I wrote several books and did several movies, so I'm grateful to them brothers, him and Reverend Seymour, them brothers, you know, they put the battery in my back and made me the man who I am today. They probably don't believe that, but I oftentimes tell them that. And they, you know, it's more than to the degree that it would look. No, it's me meeting y'all niggas got me doing these DVDs.
Exactly.
Because you understand what I'm saying? You like I said, I come from some real notorious shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's totally against the law to do the shit that, you know, we was doing. But then once them niggas gave the green light and everybody came, then everybody started accepting this shit. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And so niggas don't look at me like I'm telling some weird shit. Niggas look at me like, man, he keeping the culture alive.
Exactly.
You know, and that's all I try to do, man, with my books, man. I try to give niggas, man, some wisdom, some understanding, man. Say, man, hey, y'all looked at it from this, like we got the 48 laws of power right there. I got the 48 laws of game. And if you type in the 48 laws, both of them gonna pop at the same time.
Yeah,
they do. Yep.
And that's what I told my publisher. I said, listen, man, I don't want to call my book, you know, Pimpin'. I want to call it the 48 Laws because I want to ride off Robert Greene's back. I want to get some of his branding. You know, I said, I don't want to call my book, you know, chess. I want to call it the art of chess. So when you say the art of war come up too. So if you go in Barnes and Nobles, my books is sitting right there.
It is.
Absolutely.
So, you know, it's just some more game for aspiring authors. You know, learn how to bring everything that you got from the streets to the boardroom. You know, like I said, if you put this book in any store, it's under self-help. It's going to be right next to Robert Greene's book. But if I just said Black History, you know this motherfucker have been in the chitlin circuit of motherfucking back there with Martin Luther King and Frederick Douglass. My shit is right there next to all the white giants.
Exactly.
Yeah. And that's why my sales are so high. So I try to get niggas game on different levels like that. You know, I told niggas, you know, I was the first nigga to put the audio book. I said the phone is in everybody's hand. I said, but if a nigga, you know, go to Barnes & Noble, he push audio book, then he gonna see my book, you know. He gonna see my book. He gonna be like, oh, okay, yeah.
Ken, I got one more question. What do you think about a lot of these cats with this saying like what they call the red pill shit, whatever they call this shit?
Oh yeah, that's
because they kind of basing it off pimping.
Well, that's what me and Ugly Money do with the trigger alert. You know what I'm saying? So I you know, we got like a red pill audience, and basically it's about, you know, the alpha male. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these females, you know, they try to dominate men. You know what I'm saying? They want to, you know, like, give you an example. I had a lady working for my company, right? I got over 100 executives working for me. So there's one lady that worked for my company. She got a PhD. You know, that's what black women think, that because they got a PhD, that makes them superior over black men, right?
They do think
a lot of them got a PhD, but they ain't doing shit with it, though.
Nope.
You know what I'm saying? But, you know, they think because they got it, they make them superior. You know, because they educated, but they being trained to jump through the hoop. The more they jump through the hoop, the more they can define their jumping. So, and with the Ugly Money thing, what we do is, you know, with this lady, so I said, look, she argued with me in a board meeting. And she was like, yeah, you know, I want to do this, I want to do that. And I said, listen here. I said, the agenda is the hip hop fraternity agenda. And she brought a lot of brothers to the organization. You know what I'm saying? They joined because of her. But all those brothers that joined were beta males.
Ooh.
You know what I'm saying? So what I realized, right, is that a lot of these females, you know, they understand that it's a group of young men who grew up without the father. So a lot of them are mommy boys. You know what I'm saying? So they cater to their mother because their mother raised them. Their mother's the first teacher. She their nurturer. You know what I'm saying? So them young men, you know, when they see an older woman, you know what I'm saying, that's an alpha female, they mistake that as a male and a female. Because the alpha female is the first woman to say, I'm your mama and your dad. So, you know, these women so strong in their behavior and their demeanor that these young dudes think that these women, if they mommy boys, is just as strong as their dad, and this is the strongest figure they met. So when these alpha females meet a alpha male like myself, it's a clash. And they want to dominate you because they're so used to the mommy boys. And because you're not a mommy boy, you know, everything is, you know, like she said one time, y'all don't respect black women. I said, you control and run the meeting. You control our Zoom meetings. I said, we have 4 women in the Atlanta chapter that's all females. You know what I'm saying? That we allow at this particular time to be in CEO and COO positions. I said, your depiction of me or your description of me is not accurate. You know what I'm saying? But I understood, so I had to fire her. I fired her because I knew I made the assessment. I said, I know this woman, she's so used to young niggas that grew up with their mama bowing down to her. When she meet a man, you know, that grew up with his father and his mother and seen his father dominate the household and was the man of the household, and my mama submit, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not submitting to a woman because my daddy never submitted to my mama. Now it's a problem. You know what I'm saying? And then I had a thing, me and Ugly Money was talking about, I said, listen, man, the problem with all this killing is there ain't no father in the household. He said, well, how you say that, kid? I said, 85% of the households are single parent in the black community. I said, if it's 85% of all females, then who raised the killing? Who raised the killers? The females.
Yeah.
Why is they raising the killers? Because it's a female emotional femininity. When I was young, remember I told you I asked the box. When I was young, you know what I'm saying, nigga, we go, you couldn't wait to knock a nigga out.
That's right.
On the block.
That's right.
We go right out there, we be duking it up, right? You know what I'm saying? That's how I came up. These niggas, you know what I'm saying, when a woman get mad, what she do? She go take a key, she key your car, she bust your windows out, you know, she acting crazy. That's emotional. Well, you know what I'm saying? These niggas act just like their mamas. They real emotional. First thing they do, they grab a pistol and they can't think it out. So they're going to shoot it out, right?
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And that's who's raising the killers. All these feminine. So now I also got a theory, right? If you come into my household, I got an Adam's apple. That's what control my house. Boy, sit your ass down. That's how I talk to my kids.
Exactly.
In the jungle, the lion, everybody say the lion a bad motherfucker. What make him a bad motherfucker? He roars.
Yeah.
It's his roar that scared the shit out of them elephants and the motherfucking giraffes. Had them running like a motherfucker in the jungle, right?
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying? Well, what scares a kid is that Adam's apple.
Yes, yeah.
So with the absence of the Adam apple and a woman having a feminine voice, it's not resonating to the child. You see what I'm saying? So that child end up, you know, taking on a lot of feminine characteristics. That child end up not having a father and mistake gangsterism and all that killing and shit with being a man. You know, I'm a man. Ain't nobody gonna do nothing. I'm gonna kill this nigga. And the woman, you know, and then, you know, we can get deeper. The men, you know what I'm saying, who trying on the mama wig because the father ain't there, trying on the mama heels because the father ain't there, you know, and then you got pedophiles who see that and they prey on these kids because these kids grow up with feminine energy, and next thing you know, as Tyler Perry said, the first encounter a lot of these young men meet is with another man. So when they meet another man and that man allows them to ejaculate in their mouth, that's the first sense of pleasure you got. You know what I'm saying? So, and you're going to want it again. You know what I'm saying? And again. and then a lot of that shit is transpiring. You
It's
know what I'm
true,
saying?
man.
Yeah, no. What I'm saying,
Yeah.
it's a lot of things can happen when you don't grow up with your father.
With your father, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, now, like I said, man, I ain't got nothing against no groups or nothing like that. Whatever,
No.
whatever they sexual preferences, they sexual preference. But I'm saying it's certain underlying circumstances and variables that create the circumstances that we're in. These young people ain't just killing. I didn't go and kill everybody when I was a kid. My father, he spanked our ass. We had to be in the house by 10 o'clock. You know what I'm saying? It was some order in my household. You know what I'm saying? Most of us, we growed up pretty well. All of my brothers and sisters got businesses and, and stuff like that. Like I said, I went to jail because I was money hungry. I didn't go to jail because, my father didn't teach me right. I can't blame that on my father. Yeah. I got access to money. I wanted more. I was greedy. I went to jail for greed.
Yeah.
For real. So when you take all that shit into consideration about these females and these, and think about it. If how tall are you?
6'2".
Okay, if your mama is 5'3",
Mm-hmm.
and you was 6'2" since you was 15, she beating your ass.
Yeah.
You laughing at her.
Yeah. True.
That shit don't mean nothing to you.
It's real
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you understand me? So now, you understand me? This is what we've been taught. That the woman is your dad. No, that ain't my dad.
That ain't now.
But if your dad, you 6'2", your dad 6'2", he say, yo, you think you grown now?
Yeah. He gonna, that's it.
He gonna be like, man, shit, man, dad ain't bullshit.
Dad ain't playing. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot, man, we go all day about this. I know we got to go, but
yeah.
Damn, boy.
Yeah. But shit, man, we gonna go ahead and log out, man. Hey, Pimpin Ken, it was a pleasure, man. Ogunn.
Pimpin Ken, you put the pimping in pimping, homie.
Yes, sir.
Real talk, man. Real talk.
Zone6clique, we out, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.